Started out on live, man, that was the play. Streaming every night, building up the sway. But as the site faded, I had to find my way. Now I'm hopping platforms, surfing through the fray. Got my crew behind me, yeah, we call them givers. Chillin' IRL, catching all the rivers. Farkle in the chat, bringing loss to the grind. Talking triple games while we sipping Jack Fine. Gives a minute, yeah, we take our time. Living in the moment, the life's a subtle rhyme. From the land down under, streaming through the night. Got my heart New Zealand vibes, surfing waves day to night. Always looking for the next thrill, that's where I ignite. Community so solid, always shining bright. Rolling deep and cruising for the height. From the struggle to the stream, it's all just a game. But with the giver found, we're making our name. Jack and crypto profits, life just gets sweeter. Every view and every stream, making life a keeper. Gives a minute, yeah, we take our time. Living in the moment, life's a subtle rhyme. From the land down under, streaming through the night. Got my heart on my sleeve, everything feels right. So here's to the journey, no regrets in sight. Each laugh and each tear, it's a beautiful fight. Keep the wave rolling, let the good vibes flow. We're the givers, together in the show. Gives a minute, yeah, we take our time. Living in the moment, the life's a subtle rhyme. From the land down under, streaming through the night. Got my heart on my sleeve, everything feels right. Flip the script, it's how we play a game. First nod to the next time, chasing fame. With the gear behind me, changing scenes. So through the internet, living out the dream. Got my acoustic strum, curing and chill for our cracking jokes. Go stop the thrill, in the land of Kiwis, we ride the waves. Our road streams phone, no better days. Gives a minute, yeah, we take our time. Living in the moment, the life's a subtle rhyme.
Hello, the internet. It is Wednesday the 6th. Nope. Wednesday the 3rd of December 2025. And welcome. What's wrong with my video? Oh, man. Can I do that again? Hold on a second. Shit. I should have checked this. I have to just fix my camera. I guess I'll just swap. Well, okay. There you go. Take that. Take that instead. Just give me a second here to swap this back out. And it should be... When it comes back, it should be fine. I didn't really get a chance to do my intro piece there, but we'll just wait for the camera to come back out, and it should have been, yeah, there you go. So hello, the internet. It is the 3rd, Wednesday, the 3rd of December, 2025, and welcome back to the channel. I've also got to fix that. I think it's doubled up. So a few things here that need addressing. As the title of this stream does say, I have, what did I title it? I'm finally accepting, actually, this was ChatGPT. This is not me. But this is my sentiment, but it shows the actual title. I'm finally accepting the breakup. Moving on started this morning. I love heart without a break in it. Live chat. Yeah, I've been using the GPT machine to do all the thumbnail, the thumbnails and the descriptions. But the point of it is that, well, it's been 7 days today, and yeah, I've made the slow decision to just accept and move on. I have been in counselling today. It has helped a great deal. She wants me to come back at least for a second session. I don't think I need it, but I'm probably going to do it. I guess I should say yesterday was a horrible day. I tried to go back to work. My idea was to do Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then that's it for me for working for the week. That was going to be my new schedule that I stick with, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays. And it became extremely apparent from the very beginning of yesterday trying to drive that I was not in any, definitely in no safe condition to drive. I mean, I'm not embarrassed by it, but I was crying. If anyone knows the area, Sanctuary Point all the way to Sydney Airport, I was crying the whole drive with passengers behind me in my bus that I'm meant to be caring for. And I'm crying and I'm stifling my tears and I'm wearing my sunglasses. And then I get to the airport, and that's usually when I would speak to my ex. By the way, as part of moving on, I'm not referring to her by name. She's my ex, and I'm gonna add some rules to the game here, to the channel. But we'll talk about that in a minute. But I'm going to refer to her as my ex, not by name. But that's when my ex and I would, like, the biggest thing for me was that all day we would be in communication via text or voice recordings, and just the lovable things that partners do for each other, sharing their day and sharing cool stuff like. And so I couldn't do that because, she's barred me. So I felt really horrible. I broke down and I made some pretty dumb mistakes. I tried contacting her sister-in-law. I contacted her mother, and all of my reasoning to contact her was to find out whether she is back to health. I know that she's dumped me, but is she okay? Is she healthy? I don't have any connection anymore, so it's kind of weird. Like I've got my mind right, and I've accepted that she doesn't want me involved in her life, but I still have the care for her. Like I still have that you can't just turn that off, right? Like it's not a switch you can just flick on and flick off. Like it was slowly turned on when we got to know each other, and just the same, it'll slowly get turned off the further and further we were apart for. So at this stage, the last I've heard from her is that she's had a complete mental collapse, and I didn't break this. Her capacity collapsed. My actions were not the cause, but I understand it's happened. And so from here on in, I just need to, I mean, I obviously I cannot be contacting her family. I'm not in that loop. And so I just have to not think about her. Yo, Marty, party DJ, Breakup, mine cheated on me and have me, and you have HPV warts. Okay, sorry, I gave you some time there, dude. Let's give this guy. Okay, continue chatting, Marty. We love your content, Marty, party, PJ, DJ. And Yawn Eves Galeen, you need a bottle of Bounty rum. Yes, I do. Absolutely, I do. Epic Chris, how you doing, man? Onwards and upwards, mates. Thank you, man. And I appreciate your comments that you've been posting on my plank videos. So let me just continue and get this done. So I made some dumb decisions yesterday, and I then had to drive. Of all the shifts I had to drive really far. I had to drive all the way to Ulladulla with a passenger who thankfully was not very coherent. This passenger, can I say her name on stream? She was an Asian person, and her name was Pen Shit. No word of a lie. Pen, Penshit. Pen Shit. I felt funny texting her, hey, Pen Shit, this is Benon, the driver for blah, blah, blah. Pen Shit. I thought, is that a typo, or should I? No, that actually was her name. But she didn't speak much English, and so I could cry the whole journey, and I did. All the way to Ulladulla, I was bawling, and I was in no condition to drive, obviously. So I sent a message to my boss, and I said, I'm just going to have to quit. I'm just going to have to pull the pin here. So I quit. I just need to get, I need to get space between me. There needs to be more space between the breakup and driving. Like if I'm going to put other people's lives at risk, like I can be a whinging, moaning, boring piece of shit, but if I'm going to put others at harm by driving, that's not on, right? So I've just pulled the pin. She has said to me, you come back whenever you want. There's a job here for you. I'm not sure if I'm going to take that or not. For the time being, it feels right to not work, at least in that job. And so then when I got home here, I already had an appointment with the psychologist, and I rang her in a state of absolute panic, and she said, I can see you tomorrow, today. Originally the original booking was for next Monday, which to me is just too far away. So she was grateful enough, or she was possible, to bring that forward. And so I saw her this morning, but I'll tell you, I woke up this morning and I knew what I needed to do. And I sent my ex, because last night I sent her, yesterday and last night I did the wrong thing, right? I messaged her. I found her number. It's pretty easy to find the number. Yo, Woz, how you doing? Excellent. How did that go? I'll get to that, yeah. Chris, it's about breaking routine for a bit, frankly. Glad you're getting professional help. Yes, as was needed. Yes, absolutely. What was I saying? I messed up yesterday. Oh yeah, you can find a number pretty easily in your phone. Like I just went through my phone and went through missed calls missed, and then I scrolled down for ones that were repeating, because obviously ones that only come up once or twice are spammers, or in my case, like job related. But then the one that popped up multiple times, I mean, I had 6 months to notice this, but her number's kind of similar to my number in a weird way. Yeah, my ex's number is sort of similar to my number, kind of. And so I saw it there and I was like, okay. And then I did the wrong thing, and I messaged her, I called her, and I VR'd her, and she just didn't respond to anything. And so I knew what I had to do. And I did it last night too. Like as the night went on, it just kept pushing later and later, and I started tripping, my mind started tripping up, and I messaged her late into the night, and I knew even as I was doing it, problem is my motive is solid, but there's no point doing it. She doesn't want me. She doesn't have the capacity to even know what she wants. Well, I can't speak for her on that, but she doesn't have the capacity for me at any capacity. So for me to message her is the dumbest thing. It's just adding more weight to her struggle. So in the morning, before I went for counselling, I knew what I needed to do, and this sounds contradictory to what I just said, but I knew that I had to send her one last message, and the message needed to be super clear about, I have let this go. Like you've decided this. I've struggled with it for a whole week, and I've done some pretty dumb things, and I've acted very inappropriately, but you made this decision for the both of us, and now 7 days later, I am accepting, and I will not contact you ever again. And I said, if you can just do one thing for me and just make some kind of reply to my message, like just send an emotion, like a tick or a circle, or just anything to let me know that you've seen that message. Because since last Wednesday night when she dumped me, I've sent her, I can't even show you because I deleted the whole history, but I've sent her so many messages and like frantically manic, depressed, ranting, raving, lunatic, suicidal, ridiculously embarrassing, ridiculously lame, over the top, childish. These are all descriptions that I can say of me in the last week, and every single one of them, all I see is the word delivered. So I don't even know if she, and it would be an absolute blessing if she hadn't seen them. And so what I wanted to get from her was basically the concept that she has seen the message, and then I know that I can just move on and like done. And unfortunately, for my sake, she hasn't done anything about it. I've not got a response to it. But I then went to get, and I just see delivered. But it was a very clear message of I accept what you've done, and you did this under extreme mental collapse, and even you might think this is wrong. My counselor didn't think it's wrong. I said, when you are healthy and you do see things a little clearer, you can always call me. You can always call me. I won't judge you. I won't laugh at you. I won't be angry at you. I will be there to listen to you, because, like I said, you don't just turn off the heart for someone. I haven't stopped loving her. I haven't stopped caring for her. But I have to start caring for myself from here on in. And that's how I've done that. And then I went to counselling. That's all it needs to be was, as I say, if it's meant to be, they'll reconnect. It's one thing to hope for that. You have to be realistic, though. I am realistic that that will not happen. I honestly think I don't even want to entertain it anymore, because all that does is trip my brain out. But I've done what I needed to do, and then I went to counselling. And on the way to counselling, I had an absolute wave of, I don't know, call it clarity or call it like a thump to the head 7 days too late. I just realized that I didn't do anything wrong. Like, I know I've said that, and I know I've cried and I've moaned and bitched about that, but I actually didn't do anything wrong. So why the fuck have I been beating myself up? I haven't slipped up in this relationship. I've gone above and beyond to accommodate someone with a very extreme mental disorder. And I've done it lovingly and caringly. And ultimately, it's not me that failed, it's her. So I realized that. And so when I went into the counseling, and bless this counselor, she let me record it all. I said, can I record this conversation? Because I think it's going to be important for me to listen back to. And she said, absolutely. So I recorded the whole thing, and then I listened back to it before I did this stream. And in the conversation, which is just me telling her the story, basically, and her giving her thoughts, she was very, very, very clear to say, you don't need to be so hard on yourself. She said, unless you're not telling me something, then this story is her brain shuts down. She doesn't give you the opportunity to help her, and therefore she excommunicates you. So you feel sad because of the loss, but you haven't done anything to deserve that. So we need to get me, back to feeling worthy. Like, you need to feel like worth something. Because when you get rejected, it usually means that you've done something wrong, and then you're not worthy of whatever the thing is. But in this instance, there's nothing that you've done wrong, but you've been rejected. So your brain, she said, your brain is getting it wrong here, because unless these things connected, so you do something wrong, get rejected, feel useless. Don't do anything wrong, get rejected, still feel useless. Well, that's not right. You haven't done anything to deserve getting rejected, but you've been rejected. So you need to just now understand that you're clear, like you are in the clear, and you need to move along. Yeah, it was. It's not nice being in the situation where you've done nothing wrong yet still feel low. That's been my struggle the whole week. I felt like I was missing something. And I got to say, it is sad that the way that my ex dumped me was just by a phone call. I would rather have been able to, and by the way, I'd rather it was in the daytime when we both function a lot clearer. Like late at night, neither of us have a good functionality. Like both of us sketched out with that. But she chose to do it at like 9:45 on a Wednesday night, just by voice. I didn't even get to see her face. And so I've been left like snapped off, right? Like completely snapped off. And it's coming out of the counseling, I felt as good as I did going in, except that there was an extra level of validation that here's a third party, completely neutral, like not a friend, not a confidant, not someone who's secretly there to make me feel better, someone that I'm paying to professionally gauge what I'm telling them. And she said it a couple of times. She said, unless you're not telling me something, then this is my analysis of this. And I was like, I've told you everything from the beginning to how it is now. And she said, well, you need to start respecting yourself because you've done nothing and you're in the clear here. Her brain, and she gave me a little bit of hope, but I don't really want that. Like she said, I've dealt with people with mental disorders this is a woman. She's like, I guess she's in her 60s. What's her name? Beth Bevins? You can search her up. Beth Byron from EMC Support Services. Yeah, she said, I've dealt with people with mental disorders for most of my practice. And she says, these people, they do come out of that state that they're in now. They either end their life, sadly, or they take their time and they reemerge through that period of disassociation, period of dysregulation, period of shutdown, and they come out on the other side. And she said, historically, people that come out of it with more clarity than what they do when they go into it. She said, you need to, she said, did you block her? Have you blocked her number? I said, no. And she said, good, because at some point you may need to take a call from her. And then this is, I'm not going to play it because it's personal, but she said, if that happens, this is my advice to you. You need to renegotiate the rules. There needs to be rules in the relationship, and the rules are based upon what's just happened. You felt like you got cut out and shut down when she found this new doctor, and she didn't need to relay any information to you about her mental health, and therefore she closed you out. She said if she ever brought you back in, you need to be clear that you don't want to feel rejected in that sense. You care for her. You have a worry for her. You have a genuine concern for her health, and for her to shut you out. When I told her when I was in Adelaide and she was trying to find the rope to hang herself and Dr. Alpha, and she didn't think to call me, she said, you need to renegotiate the rule. And if she doesn't accept those rules, you need to be respectful of yourself and then not re-engage with her, because she said, ultimately that's not fair of her to use you all the way up to leaving for Adelaide, all the way up to leading to her moving to Tasmania, and then to slowly shut you out of the health issues, which is ultimately the way this rolled. The worse she got, the more shut out I became. Yeah, it was. You said your exes went in and out of mental issues. It was a struggle. Yeah. I just ate a cookie before I streamed. So I want to read you this. I got a message from someone. I'm not going to name them, obviously, but I got a beautiful message on Discord. I want to read it to you because it's it made me sit up and take notice. I can't recall. Well, I could read what I said earlier. I said something. Anyway, sorry to be so negative, but that's harsh truth, the honest truth. This person said, totally understand. I dwell in darkness often, perhaps more than most. I always respected and appreciated that you seem to avoid such difficulties, talking about me. I even remember you not really believing in mental illness when Dale and I talked about it a while back before and then he uses my ex's name. I'm not, and by the way, I'm not naming her. I'm removing her from my memory, so I'm not naming her. A while back before the X season, I'd have rather you remain oblivious to it like back then, in a sense, because it's not fun to witness or experience. Perhaps you can understand and acknowledge it a bit better now, or feel some empathy because of your experiences with, and even tasting it yourself over the last few, even painful experience has its value, past few days. He says, or they say, it's not something I'd wish even on an enemy, and I'm sorry you had to go through it. I truly believe you will get through it just fine. Mrs. Blank will likely struggle with it for the rest of her life, with huge ups and downs. That's how mental conditions work most of the time, sadly. Your love, and this is the part that really hit me, your love and concern for her are very apparent and admirable. So many just instantly jump onto the next partner or have multiple partners simultaneously as if they were pieces of meat. Hello. I could name a name right there, but I'm not going to. For you to experience true love for someone means that you will experience true loss. And it's a virtuous thing, in my opinion, even if it hurts. So for the person who sent me about this, I really appreciate it. Did I respond? I haven't responded yet, but I really appreciate that. And it did give me a good moment to sort of sit back and say, yes, the last 6 months have been amazing, and it's something that I will cherish. There's been, and I've managed to share some of them with you guys. There are some videos on my channel where you got to experience, the joy. There is a lot of good. There is also a lot of, well, the last week has been absolutely horrible, but for the good, it was good. For the good, it was good. For the good, it was bloody great. Yeah, she is a wonderful person, and she doesn't, no one deserves to go through what she goes through on the daily. And I can't imagine. Anyway, I'm not going to think, and we're going to move on from this on this channel. Well, as you said, you end up bailing because it was a cyclical thing that kept happening. I still want to talk to you about your situation. I've been a lot selfish, to be honest, but this channel still lives. This channel will survive. We will move on from here. We will go past this, but I do want to instill some rules. No more mention of her name, period, blank. I do not want to hear anybody mention her, and it's going to be an insta ban if you do on any platform. If you come in with a handle with her name, even the name you think her real name is, if there's any communication to me or my chat about the scenario, the breakup, the relationship from here on in, it's going to be an insta ban with no warnings. I'm snapping this off as I need to. It's like I'm not going to allow myself any chance to go back or fall down. If anything else happens in this scenario, I'm not going to tell you. From here on in, this channel, Gives a Minute, this YouTube channel, this live content, this whole concept, it's going to be strictly above, how do I say this without being harsh? I'm not telling you cunts anything ever again. I'm not bringing anything to the game aside from surface level YouTube content that's current in the media or whatever we want to talk about. When I meet someone new, I'm not going to tell any. This has been a complete fiasco, and if I could go back in time, I would never have brought my ex into the picture, and you guys just would never have known that I had a partner. I really, really wish, and I'm not saying it would have been any different now, but I'm just saying for all the anguish that it's caused, the gain has been nothing. The thing is, and I've always been this way, when I have a partner that I'm truly in love with, I want to share that. I want you guys to see how rad my partner is. I'm a bit of a cuck like that, right? Like I want everybody to see how rad my partner is. And that makes me happy to see that everyone goes, oh man, she's cool. Like, how cool was that? How cool? What about that? How about this? And like, I like that, but holy shit, it's really, really backfired big time in this community. So from here on, whatever happens with if there's ever any update, you guys won't know. I'm never going to mention it. So that's from today, the 3rd of December. That's a week after she dumped me. I am not going to mention her. No one can. I don't want to hear any more discussion about her, and I'm not going to tell you anything going on from here forwards, whether it be good, whether it be bad, whether she comes back and says, wow, I'm not going to say anything about anything to anyone, and you can either leave the content and you can do whatever you want, because that's just the way it is. Now, what that means for the channel is I don't know, because we used to love watching Ghost Town Living. I might go back and watch one episode today. I guess I'm going to, and by the way, I am going to start watching, don't tell me the name of the show you told me to watch. I can't remember. I was going to say Sneaky Blinders. No, not Pinky Blinders. What's the show you told me to watch? I don't remember what it was called, but I'm going to, you know what, it's a Wednesday. I'm still in a state of, I'm on the other side of it, but I'm going to drink today. I'm going to get drunk. Lilyhammer. That's it. Lilyhammer. I'm going to start watching Lilyhammer. Yeah, that's the one was. Thank you, man. Clean slate protocol activated. Yes, clean slate protocol from here on in. And I because people might not be here to watch this and catch this, I'll have to state it at the beginning of each stream for a little while. I'll just say, just a reminder, no mention of my ex, no mention of anything to do with it. It's none of your business. By the way, this sounds harsh, but it actually is none of your business, but it is because I've made it your business. So I get that. It's on me. I introduced her, and actually she did it as well. She volunteered things about herself, which it shocked me that she said she would. I thought that doesn't matter. But anyway, from here on in, nothing like that. And I'm going to spend the next, I don't know, probably up till, a couple of weeks maybe. I'm just going to drink a lot and surf. And that's what I was going to tell you. I reached out to let me see if he's responded. There is something here. Not yet, no. Where's my inbox? I don't use Instagram enough. Where's your inbox? What? It's a bit clunky. People you follow, comments, professional, add tools, followers, tags and mentions, verified. Where's my inbox? Maybe it's not there because he hasn't responded. There's a guy who has a YouTube channel, which I'm not going to mention the name of because people will troll. But he is a surfer and a skateboarder from back in the day that I don't think I know. I just can't find I don't use it enough to know where the inbox is. He's a skateboarder or an old school skateboarder who has a podcast, and he has been interviewing skateboarders and blah, blah, blah. And a lot of the conversation has revolved around mental health. And he's got a channel that's, let me be frank, it's deader than my channel. So he's a nobody, right? But the content has been so helpful to me. For not just this scenario, but for quite a while back, I was with my ex for 6 months. So there was quite a lengthy period of me like embracing the concept of mental health and just digging deep and learning. And you guys saw it when we looked up what, the Asperger's and we did all the research together. Well, all the while I've been listening to this podcast, and not all the time, but a lot of the time those guests do start talking about mental health, and it's sometimes it's revolving around like either a surfer who's been injured or big wave surfers and just family and just some pretty deep conversation. And the way I discovered his channel was because he interviewed a skateboarder that I grew up with, or he had him on the podcast. And So me being the German that I am, and this is my Asperger's, right, or my OCD coming in, I knew that I wanted to watch the podcast featuring this skateboarder, but because I'd never seen the podcast before, I went back and watched the first episode. Like I went to the top of the channel and went oldest, like view by oldest, sort by oldest, and it went to the top and I was like, holy shit, there's like 90 or so. In fact, I've watched about 80, 88 or something of his episodes, and I still haven't got to the one that I actually want to watch. But I've been going through watching all of them and commenting every now and then. And every now and then he responds and goes, holy shit, dude, this is like, some of these podcasts are from COVID. He's like, I was living in Bali. But I didn't mention, he's here. He grew up in Nowra. So he's a local. So I reached out to him today. I wish I could find it. Where the fuck is my inbox on Instagram? I don't even know where. I guess I'll just go back to his profile. Oh, no, here it is. Here it is. I said, hey, mate, we don't know each other, but I wanted to reach out. I'm the guy who's been commenting on super old episodes of, I won't say the podcast name, on YouTube for the last year or so. I've just gone through a mental health crisis, and I wanted to maybe pick your brain about methods I can use to realign myself and start to feel whole again. Your podcast has helped arm me with some good tactics already. However, if I understand correctly, you're in the Gong, Wollongong, I'm in blah, 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 and I'd love to go for a surf with you sometime if you're up for it, or even just a coffee and chat. Either way, thanks for what you do on the pod. It's been super helpful. Benon. He hasn't responded yet. Is he going to respond? He might not respond. So I did that, and I did that, and I felt good. And then I did something else, which I've never done before. I went to the library. I actually went to the library, and I sat in there, and I thought, there's a lot of books here. There's a lot of books I could read. And I went and I looked in the mental health section, and I got a book out off the shelf. I don't have a library card, so I didn't borrow it, but I sat in the library reading it, a little mental health book. I didn't even have my reading glasses, so I was struggling, and I couldn't pinch to zoom. I went to do that at one point. I was like, oh, wait, it's physical. So I sat there reading this book, and yeah, I'm just embracing that there's been, a pretty big change in my life. What's the library like these days? You know what I asked? I went back to the CD rack, and I just flicked through the CDs. I was like, oh, there's a whole bunch of CDs here. And then I went over and said to the girl, hey, because there's actual discs in them. They don't go and get it out of the drawer or something. It's the physical CD with the disc in it, the media. And I said, do I need to borrow these, or could I just listen to them? Like if I came in with my laptop with a CD drive, could I just listen to them in the spot? And she said, yeah, that's fine. So I might go in there with my laptop. I've got an old, somewhere here. Yeah, right here actually. I've got this. The old Apple, it's USB-A. I'll have to put a little adapter on that. I might go into the library and just start ripping CDs and listening to music. There's a wealth of music out there that I don't know, you shouldn't judge a book by its cover, but sometimes you can judge a CD by its cover. Maybe I'll start getting into different styles of music by just going into the library and looking in the world music or Some libraries even have a streaming service where you can just stream it. I like ripping it, so I've got the physical MP3s. But as I just said before, I'm going to start drinking more. But then again, I kind of don't want to have a drink. But I'm. I don't know. I feel like celebrating. I feel like celebrating that I'm better. Chris, anyone normal would want to share something important like a new love interest when you put your life online. But yeah, I think some stuff probably is best kept off the net to protect yourself. I completely agree with that. I wanted to share it, and the way it worked out was not so great. What is it, Wednesday? Oh, the other thing too, I forgot to mention, I had kind of declined to do this, and I'm glad I didn't actually say no, but I'd said no in my head. Can you believe in my mental funk that I've been in for the last 7 days this will blow your head off. I had not said no, but I'd said no in my head to not covering the Good Things Festival. And then in my clarity that I've been in today, I was like, what? Are you going to decline photographing at the Good Things Festival? What's wrong with you? I mean, yeah, you've had a breakup, but it's the Good Things Festival. Tool are headlining, you idiot. And Weezer are playing. So I quickly went and did what I needed to do. And yeah, I'm photographing Good Things Festival this weekend. So there's good things, right? Good Things Festival. There's good things coming. Tidy used to say that on D Live. There's good things coming. I can't believe, like when I sat down and thought about it, I was like, wait, was I really going to just sit at home and like stew in my fucking filth when Tool are playing and I could have been there photographing? And then I got the photo release, one song from Tool from the pit, which is fine. I guess they're quite lengthy songs, but so you know what? Let's have a look at who's on the bill for that. You know where we can find out who's on the bill for Good Things Festival? We can go to Across the Ocean, my music website, folks. There's been a change to the lineup. A couple of bands pulled the pin. The Almighty Rejects pulled out and Knocked Loose pulled out. They've had some issues. So Sydney's Stand Atlantic and Alpha Wolf, they've joined the lineup. So you got Tool and Weezer, the two headliners. Garbage, that'll be interesting, I guess. All Time Low, Machine Head. I can't even read what that is. I literally cannot read that band name. Whatever that is. Lawnshire. Okay, indecipherable. Refused. Newfound Glory. Alpha Wolf. Make Them Suffer. Dayseeker. Stand Atlantic. James Rain. What the hell? Yeah, throwing in like a 90s middle-aged icon. Kubla Khan, Cobra Starship, Goldfinger, okay. Tonight Alive, so. Bad Nerves, Civic, Dead Poets Society, Fever 333, Gwar, right, they should be up higher on the bill, I think. G-War or Gwar, High Viz, Inertia, Maple's Pet Dinosaur, Palais Royale, Scene Queen, South Arcade, Wargasm, Wind Waker, and yours truly. So that's going to be fun on Saturday. Yeah. I can't believe I was going to not go. It's very strange that Tool didn't do sideshows in different cities. That is a strange thing, isn't it? They just picked a few select ones to do it in. Kind of weird. Yeah. And Parkwaves was cancelled. Yeah. Yeah, that was a bit of a shame. But that Parkwaves festival, it's like 5 bands that play together all the time. And tickets were $220. Yeah. Ticket sellers blocked resales. Did they really? Blocking resales. Well, you know what we're going to do? I do want to catch up with old mate Toothboy here. We've got dude, I haven't looked at this channel in, well, at least as long as I was with my ex. He's uploading 3 days ago, 1 month ago, 2 months ago. Ghost Town Living. Where we got up to was this episode. I found the real filming locations of Iron Man, Django, Tremors, and more. So this is uploaded a year ago. We haven't watched anything from him in such a long time. I might just... I do want to have a drink, but it's weird. It's Wednesday. I'd never drink in the week, but this is extraneous circumstances. This could be a good test. If I have some whiskey now, can I hold myself accountable and not start blathering about my ex? This video goes for 33 minutes. By the way, I've got nothing else tabbed out, right? Except for the Tipsy Panda, Baxter's Friends channel, which we were watching as well. Other than that, I got nothing else tabbed. I got rid of all the tabs when the community dissolved, and like Dale and Hendrik and When everything went down, I just removed all the tabs and just started again. I mean, look, we're rebuilding here from scratch. So yeah, I'm gonna get a jack and I'm gonna sit here. I might even eat some chips. Hey, I've lost 4 kilos in this Malay. I'm gonna drink jack and eat some chips, and we'll watch a little Ghost Town Living. In the time that it takes me to go and get some ice and cock, you guys can watch me surfing from a few days ago. I didn't go surfing this morning, but I will tomorrow, hopefully. My counselor told me you've got to go surfing a minimum 3 times a week. She put a number on it. I was like, oh, okay. She was cool, actually. I'm so stoked I went. And I probably will go back for another session. All right, I'll be right back. Be right back. All right, got myself a little glass action here. A little of the rye that's left over. Actually, I didn't drink much of it at all the other night. Got heaps left. That's a litre bottle, so there's going to be a fair amount in there. Got some cock, got some icicles, and some double crunch, 2 times the crunch, epic salt and vinegar chips. Limited edition. Okay, okay. Limited edition. Might just pop them now. Wow. What? That is zingy. Sure. Let's celebrate good times. Is it wrong to celebrate this? What exactly am I celebrating here? That I'm over it? Is that what I'm celebrating? No, I'm celebrating that I'm back. That my mental stability is back. To the future. That's it, was. Yeah, that's what we're celebrating. We're not celebrating the end of a relationship. We're celebrating that I've managed to pull myself out of the funk I was in, back to reality. That's a good way of looking at it, was. Yeah. Not a very nice place to be. I've got to be honest. I was in a horrible place. It's kind of I guess I'll use it all. It's kind of strange when someone, I don't know if it's strange, but it's pretty powerful, the effect someone can have on someone else. Like, really, like, I haven't even had a sip of the Jack, but I really, really love this. I really love this girl. And she, yeah, it's funny. It's notable how someone can just really make that hard. Like, I guess life is not meant to be easy. I promise I won't get sentimental if I get drunk. I'm going to maintain myself here. I don't know how, but I'm going to test myself. I guess this is a test, right? This is the first. See, we've been broken up for a week, but to me this is day one, because days 1 through 7 have just been a mess for me. Those days just all blended into one long schmozzle. This for me now feels like, all right, we're broke up. We're broke up. Let's move on. No hate, no harm, no foul. Let's move on. So I found the real filming locations of Iron Man, Django Unchained, I guess, the Tarantino flick, Tremors, and more. Should I be sipping from my Jack and eating chips on stream? That's not very cool to do, but I want to eat chips. I've lost 4 kilos. I lost 4 kilos. 4 kilos in 7 days. What the hell? How does one ever do that? I did a 12K run, a walk. I weighed myself. I was 74 kilos on the noggin. I'm usually like 78, 79, 74. What? That's still got you're on the towel rack. No, I wasn't on the towel rack. Stress does that, but 4 kilos, man? It seems a bit excess, right? Like, I mean, I didn't eat much and it's kind of weird. I didn't drink much either. 4 kilos. That's weird. I feel like I can drink real Coke. This is just full of shit, this stuff, man. So bad for you. So bad for you. Doesn't say. I reckon there should be a scale on everything. There should be a scale of like how bad for you it is, and no faffing around. Like no, like I don't want to see like chemical names like carbohydrates and saturated fats, and I just want to see like a scale that starts off like maybe like blue and then gets to red or something. And like the closer you are to red, the worse it is for you. And everyone just goes, dude, you know that's bad for you. Like cigarettes, right? People that smoke cigarettes, they're like, oh no, I know this is killing me. I know this is lining my lungs with tar and gunk. It's gonna ultimately end my days. Smoking that hot one, you know that's killing you. And people have pictures of like rotting mouth ulcers and all that shit. Why can't they be on soft drinks and all other things? It's like just this long scale of like, and if you're up here, you're like, okay, just be aware. I guess this is a cigarette for me, right? Like I'm lining my. I mean, see, alcohol's a funny one, right? Because there's benefits to alcohol, and then there's obviously the side effects. But what about the Italians? I love those Italians. They drink the red wine since they were like 6 years of age. I think it was in Spain where we were there. Spain, the legal age to drink differs depending on what the drink is. Like you can drink wine at a younger age than you can drink a beer. Or it might be the other way around. I can't remember which was which, but pretty weird. Anyway, Toothboy, let's entertain us.
Is it better to be feared or respected? And I say, is it too much to ask for both? You have seen these scenes in some of the biggest movies in the world, but they weren't shot in Hollywood. They were shot right out here at Cerro Gordo,
wow,
the abandoned mining town I live in and the surrounding hills. This area has been the go-to area for filmmakers since the 1920s to shoot blockbusters with everybody from John Wayne, Gene Autry, Robert Downey Jr., Jamie.
This is all news to me. I did not know this has been used as a film location. And by the way, I'm going to try to mute myself as I crunch so you won't hear it. Pretty good. Works pretty well. Just keep an eye on the mute button.
Fox, Russell Crowe, and so many more. And so often in these videos, I talk about the rich mining history here at Cerro Gordo. But in this video, we are going to talk about the rich filming history. We are going to track down some of these locations where the scenes were shot and learn why this area has been the go-to area to shoot movies that have produced billions of dollars in the box office.
So that's his driveway in the films. That's pretty rad. Love it.
So the first location isn't actually that big of a trek because it is right here at my house where I sleep every single night. And off of this porch, a movie called Waterhole Number 3 was shot. It was a 1966 Western.
By the way, as we watch this and as we just enjoy or embrace this new, I'm going to cut off for a second. As we embrace this new adventure in my life, give me ideas of things because, you know, I have GoVan and I was originally planning on going down and road tripping Tassie and then living down there, but now that's not going to happen. So I'm ears. Like I might move somewhere. I might go north. I guess I'm getting excited, and maybe I might take a trip to Death Valley, go over to the States and go and meet Toothboy. What I'm saying is, now I've got, now I'm feeling better. We can think about the future. That's what I'm getting at. All right.
With James Coburn, and it was kind of trying to be a comedic remake of The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. I don't know necessarily if they accomplished that, but the whole intro sequence that you see in that movie is them slowly climbing up Cerro Gordo Road, different shots along the way, and at the end, the shot that they have is right in here, and they look down the road from about there, they pan, and you see the general store, which at the time didn't have the tree nor the deck, but that was kind of the pan from there into the road. And what's funny is in that, I was looking the other day, and right around here, they have what looks to be like a snowshoe blocking part of the view. It's kind of like this, the blocking the view, and that snowshoe is actually right here. So if we really wanted to recreate this scene, I would hang the snowshoe somewhere like this, and then we'd have a very similar shot to what they.
No shit, that's just been laying there. That's kind of cool. That's still just sitting in the spot. They're like, okay, we got that shot. And they just chucked it down. That's funny.
Had in 1966. And so for me, I mean, that adds really cool context to the house. You know, I live here every single day. I walk on this porch every day, and I never knew that, you know, James Coburn, a pretty well-known star in his day, shot a movie up here. It's just very cool. And I think this whole journey today is hopefully going to provide more context to the area that I live in and just make the experience of living up here a little bit richer. You know, I'm gonna go by scenes that probably I passed by before and now know more history of them. And that's probably my favorite thing in the world. And so now that we've gotten this first location, that was pretty easy admittedly, we are going to head down the road where a huge franchise was shot, not even 2 miles from here.
Holy shit, that music is way louder than his audio or his mic. I mean, I'm a perfectionist, but that was not mixed very well, Tooth Boy.
But before we get to the $1 billion franchise, hello there. We are gonna.
Hello there, Charles. How you doing, man? Good to see you, dude. We're just catching up on Tooth Boy. Been a while. Been a while for us with Tooth Boy. Hello there. He seems to be doing pretty well, though.
Spent a little bit of time where the king of cool once shot a movie. So it's just about right here, where in 1966, Steve McQueen was mourning his parents' death in the movie Nevada Smith. In the movie, McQueen plays a character called Max Sand, and Max is a young guy working down in the valley at a ranch, and his dad had taken up an old mining claim up in the hills to try to give it a go. And Max is working down there, some guys come along, they say, hey, do you know where so-and-so is? He says, yeah, actually, that's my dad. You know, go a couple canyons up, turn left, and you can't miss him. And so the guys are coming up here not just to say hi, but to rob Max's dad, because they think that Max's dad has a huge gold hit up here in this mine. And when they find out that he doesn't have any gold, they brutally kill Max's mom and his dad. And Max McQueen down in the valley gets kind of a bad feeling about all this. So he rides
Sounds like a charming story.
up. You can see his horse come right around the turn behind me, right in front of this mine shaft, and he sees a family friend, and I think the realization strikes that his parents are dead. And so he walks right towards in front of me into his parents' house. He sees them brutally murdered, and he thinks, I don't want anybody seeing this way. So he ends up lighting fire to the house, watching it burn, and eventually taking a hike out of here that way. And in reality,
Wow.
the mine that you see behind me is called the Estelle mine.
That's heavy.
And the building that would have been burned down wasn't originally there, but you can actually still see some of the charred pieces. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna walk back towards the mine, take a peek in there, give you a little bit of history, then we're gonna see some of the remnants of the movie that are still possible to see. So this mine that in the movie was Max Sand's dad is actually called the Estelle Tunnel. And it was originally started in 1908 by a company called the Estelle Mining Company, and it continued being made all the way into 1923. And the goal of this tunnel was to intersect the lower levels of Cerro Gordo's mines, which were 900 feet underground, to save them on the transportation halfway down the mountain. And about a mile and a half into this mine, the company actually did hit silver. And so they pushed some drifts, they put some workings 300 feet above, 300 feet below. And there's a big controversy on whether this mine ever intersected Cerro Gordo's mine, because if they had intersected 900-foot level, that would have saved them the transportation cost halfway down the road. And I have to call a little bit of a potential there, because I've seen a map that shows it getting very, very close. And so whether the fact or not that they did intersect is the topic of a different video, but this is the mine that apparently McQueen's parents were mining in Nevada Smith.
Cool.
It's still here, and you can still visit it. It's called the Estelle Tunnel, and I'll put the coordinates on. But with that, I think
By the way,
turn
Charles,
around
you doing okay?
and take a look at where
Thanks for
Max's
swinging by.
parents met their fate. And right out here, there's a shot of McQueen mourning his parents' house. And the house is positioned right there, and it burned down. And what's cool is if you go out here and you look around, you can still see some of the charred embers and the discoloration because of the burn, and even some old timbers, you know, that are charred up from that day.
Imagine the production to bring up like an entire Hollywood production up to Cerro Gordo, like up that 8-mile road. They got no running water, no electricity. How would that have? What would that have looked like? I mean, I've been on a film set a few times, and it's a, you know, from catering to like makeup, hair and makeup, it's a big production, you know. And if you've got big stars like Steve McQueen, you need to treat them right. So what would that have looked like? That's pretty interesting.
And so the thought that this was such an important scene, such an important movie from the guy that was considered probably the most famous actor in the world in his day was shooting right here, and that's very.
See there, he's a big guy. Anyone filmed there since he owned it? I guess we'll see. Yeah, we'll see if it moves into the current day. Well, it's a good question.
Cool to think that he spent a little time here, right along my road, and at the end of it, you see McQueen is riding off on a difficult trail over there just past my truck, and he wanders down. And what's interesting is not even a mile.
Charles, I'm good. Just curious why I'm not getting notifications from Kick for your live shows. Is that right? I mean, it is live on Kick. Obviously, yeah, you're commenting there. I don't know. I gotta plead ignorance. I've been busy having a challenge of my own the last little while, but I don't know what's going on with Kick. I've been a little bit vacant when it comes down to, like, if you're talking about the websites and how these streaming platforms all work. DLive has had a big revamp. I see some donations. Ozymandias with one something, and yeah, I just Rev to donate. I don't know. Like I'm so out of the loop. I guess I should pay attention. I'm on these new platforms like Valoria and Retake, and I don't know. Like I've just been a little bit more. Well, I guess I've been a little more focused on other things in my life, and now I can dedicate a little of my time to rediscovering what I've let go, such as Toothboy. That's what I'm digging on right now. There might be some Jack in this alcohol. I'm feeling a little buzz right now.
Mile from here, just down this valley a little bit along that road, is the start of a billion-dollar franchise that would come about 45 years later, and one that probably most of you will know, but probably won't know where it was shot. And so we're gonna go down there and check that out next. Right here, right in that spot, that is where billionaire genius Tony Stark was held against his will by some Afghani captors and forced to make a rocket. But instead of making the rocket, Tony Stark, aka Robert Downey Jr., made an Iron Man suit and displayed it on film for the first time ever.
That's pretty big. I mean, I'm not into the action figure shit, but I understand Iron Man is like, aside from Superman, oh wait, would it go Superman, Spider-Man, Iron Man? I feel like Iron Man and the Hulk, they're big names in this shit. So for him to first Robert Downey Jr., Robert Downey Jr., he's a big name again. A lot of big names have been out here. They should come. Oh, Steve McQueen's dead, but they should all come out and like reunionize.
Right there, and you can tell that the cave itself was a set that they built into the hillside right here. But these are the formations of rocks around it, and the road, they added tents around the sides of the road. So this looked like a main street or something of a town or a camp, but in reality, this is a part of the road that I'll call the Narrows, and I've had huge washouts over the year because the water just
many times that road's been impassable because of heavy rains.
Here. This is a corner that I drive by almost every day. It's called the Huge Headaches. I never took the time to realize that right there was the beginning of the Iron Man sequence. You know, it had been a cartoon ahead of time, but the first Iron Man, the first time that suit is ever revealed, happens from this perspective right there. There's a shot where they kind of go up here and they pan down like this, and they show the cave, and then there's tents, and you have the mesh.
You know what's interesting about this? As he shows the scenes and then he, overdubs his current day footage, not the irony, but the notable difference, the camera quality is so rad in his cell phone that it makes the original film look so shit, right? Now you might say, yeah, but it's been shot on film, dude, 24 frames a second, cinematic things. Yes, but what's better, would you rather look at that, or would you rather look at the better quality? I'd rather look at the better quality. Charles, I've been watching replays and have been concerned about your well-being. You seem to be doing better. So you just come in, so you get a pass. I have instigated a new rule on the channel. No conversation about my ex. I have moved on and I am doing better. And so we are all told, we are all not talking about her, and we're not naming her. So I've made this rule: no one can name her the name that you think her name is, or the name that you know her name. We're not talking about her. We're moving on. We're putting her in the review, and that's the new focus, or the new. That's the mantra of the stream, the channel. The mantra of my existence is this: I didn't break this. Her capacity collapsed. My actions were not the cause. And there's the Bitcoin price, 93,000. I have, you go back and watch the start of this stream, because we talked all about it in detail. But I get it. You just came in, and I understand you might not have been you might not have been aware of it, but we do have this thing going now, and that's how it's going to roll from now on in. Hell yeah. But yeah, look, the quality of this, like getting back to how cameras were back in the day, and like how much processing and how much power it required, and reels and reels of film, and now you can just grab your cell phone and get a better shot. It's crazy.
For this, and after he gets out, they start fighting along this. So I'm gonna climb down from here. All right, so right here is where the cave was built, and there's a shot once he comes out. He's fire blazing out of the front of the suit, and there's a shot down this road this way of some guys coming up the road with guns, and they're kind of coming to fight him. And so you'll see one shot here where they're coming up the road fighting him, and there's a shot they kind of pan like this, and you can't see much, it's kind of zoomed in on his face, but you see that ridge behind there. So the distinguished little knob there and there. So you can see one shot this way when they're showing him in profile, one shot down here when they're fighting them. And again, this whole hill had been built up with nets to make it look like a camp. But right here, this is where Iron Man, as seen for the first time on the big screen, took place. And it's crazy to think that, again, I drive by this every day, and if you go watch these videos, you know that this area I've spent probably the most amount of time ever, because when the rains come, all this dirt gets washed away, and I've spent a long time with a backhoe right here rebuilding and rebuilding and rebuilding. But I never took the time to realize that right here was the bunker that old Tony Stark was in.
You said before I wonder if any current day films are being shot here. If not, he should sort of try to, like host film crews and say, look, come on up and shoot here. Why not?
That's awesome. And I hope you guys come check it out. It's on the way up to Cerro Gordo, so if you want to check it out. And with that, we've been talking a lot. And in a lot of these shots, just over the cliff, what you'll see is the dry lake bed of Owens Lake. And Owens Lake has a very storied history. It also has a very storied film history. So we're gonna go down the road a little bit longer, talk about the next stop, a fan favorite that I think a lot of you guys are gonna know. All right, so we are getting further down the road, and you're seeing more and more of this dry lake bed. And that dry lake bed is Owens Lake. The reason that Los Angeles has drinking water, a deathbed courtesy of William Mulholland. I could rant and rave for a very long time about the history of Owens Lake. I will save that for another video as well. But if you're interested in kind of the origins of the Los Angeles Department of Water and Power and kind of some of the corruptness, you should definitely check out Chinatown with Jack Nicholson. That is a great fictionalized version of the origins of DWP, but I think that's still
Jack Nicholson, big name, right? By the way, sorry, Charles, I just reread your comment, and I just realized I neglected to sort of, say anything. You said you've been concerned about my well-being. I want to say thank you for that. I didn't intentionally just brush over that. I just kind of wanted to get out what I thought immediately, and I realized it might have been a bit insensitive. So thank you for being concerned about what's been happening here to me. Yeah, it's been a pretty horrible 7 days, but I'm on the other side. So thank you for noticing, and thank you for being concerned. And I didn't overlook it. I just got caught up in what I was trying to say. Thank you, man.
Rings true today. But a dry lake bed is a great set for different movies, and one movie in particular, you see this in the background a few times, and that is Tremors, the 1990 movie with Kevin Bacon, Fred Ward, and even Reba McEntire, the country star, in her very first role ever in a movie. And Tremors is about these giant worm-like creatures that live underground, burrow around and eat people from below and pull them underneath the ground, and eventually you have to jump from rock to avoid them.
That sounds like one of my dreams. No shit. I reckon I've dreamed that before. Man, you know what we could do? You know, we could do this. I just had a thought. So in the last 6 months, maybe not the last 6 months, but in the last, say, 3 months or so, I was VRing my ex-girlfriend my dreams on the daily. Like, I'd wake up and the very first thing I'd do is I'd record like a conversation about my dream. It's important to do that the moment you open your eyes, because often the dream will dissipate. If you try to think about your dream, say at 3 p.m. and you've woke up at 8 a.m., you might not recall exactly what went down. So I really enjoyed being able to VR her my dreams. But now that that's all ended, maybe I could just still record it and then play it back on stream for you guys. Like I could make a recording of me saying, this is what happened in the dream. It wouldn't be as beautiful and as nice because it was always, I'm not going to get emotional. There was always more sentiment to it because I know I'm talking to my special, to someone special, but I could do it and then we could bring it to the stream and like someone could animate it. I don't know. I just got ideas. It's just, you know, it's popping to me as I have a jack and I'm just thinking things aloud here.
And Tremors is a very fun movie, a very cult-like following for a movie, and a lot of it is shot in and around here. You can see Owens Lake a lot. The place that it is set is a place called Perfection. It says Perfection, Nevada, but it's actually
There's
shot
a place called Perfection?
right by Owens Lake. So
You kidding me? There's a place called Perfection? I should go and buy a house there because I'm always striving for perfection in everything. That's what. Nah. No. I'm gonna wind that back. I don't always strive for perfection.
first stop in this adventure into Tremors is going to be to Perfection, where it all went down. But keep an eye out in movies. You're going to see this in a lot of places.
I reckon I'm going to instigate a self-imposed stop. I've eaten too many of these. I'm going to stop. The risk here is that I, keep this up. Like right now, I feel like it's cause to have a little celebration, but you also want to be mindful of, don't get too comfortable into eating shit and drinking all the time. Like that would be horrible to let myself go. But I feel like I deserve it after what I've been through. Actually, I don't deserve it. That's not the right word. I don't deserve anything, but I feel like I'm going to do it because of the shit I put myself through. Because let's be, we're going to talk about it. No, I'm not going to talk about it. Charles, you'd probably be disappointed with the place called Perfection. Fuck you, man. But you're dead right. All right, I cut myself then. I just was about to talk about it, and I've got my rule, and I'm sticking to it, not talking about it.
A little bonus detour on the way to Perfection. This is the Olancha Dunes, and in Iron Man, when he blasts out of the cave, he takes off in the air. Eventually his rockets give out and he plops right down into a desert, and that desert is right over there.
Because it would not be your perfection. That's interesting. I like what you're saying there. Not everyone's idea of perfection is the same. Yeah, of course. The eye of the beholder is what you're saying. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I can see that. Let me just say I agree with you. I'm not going to elaborate why, because it mentions my ex, but I'm going to just move on. But thank you. I note what you're saying and I agree.
I can tell that because of the scenes and the visibility of Owen's Lake behind it. I'm gonna throw up the drone and show you guys a better perspective of exactly the shot, but I kind of just put together on the drive over here that this was it. And so I'm gonna throw up the drone, but again, this is where Tony Stark landed before he was picked up by the military helicopters and all that type of stuff. Alancha Dunes, I'll throw the GPS on this.
By the way, he mentions Iron Man, and I was talking about it like it was important and in pop culture. I haven't seen it. I don't watch that shit. I'm not into it. I tried to watch Batman. When was that? Like probably 4 years ago or 3 years ago. Someone said, nah, dude, you've got to watch the new Batman. It's rad. And of course, the new Batman means I've got to watch all the Batmans. So I went back and watched quite literally all the Batmans, like the original series, like the TV show, and then the 1980s remake. Like there was Batman and Robin originally, then there was Batman and Batman Returns. No. Wait, there was one called The Batman or The Batman. And then I watched the movies and I got through like the second Batman film or third one. I was like, nah, that's not for me, man. I don't like that shit. So I definitely didn't watch Iron Man. I mean, I recognize it from seeing posters and stuff, but I've never seen the film and I have absolutely zero. There's so little of me that wants to watch Iron Man. In fact, there's none. There's none of me. And any show, any movie like that, I just know. Like someone said to me, you've got to watch the Joker, right? The Batman and the Joker stuff. I was like, absolutely no chance. Like I have no interest in that. I'll acknowledge that part of pop culture just goes past me.
As well, and then we're going to continue our way over to Perfection, where Tremors was. And here we are at the home of Perfection, the main hub for all activities during Tremors, where they're having to get on the roof,
population
to
11,
avoid the worms, where they're brainstorming when all things were happening. We're out here in the middle of nowhere, and the reality is, I guess like in real life, Perfection doesn't exist. Perfection in Tremors was a movie set. All the buildings were constructed for the movie and were since taken away after the movie. The only thing that remains is the Perfection sign where they put up a replica so you can still see where Kevin Bacon first made his turn into the town. That's there, but nothing more beyond that. You can see why it would be a great location to film a very remote town, because there is nothing really out here and it's very pretty, if you ask me. So to see more things that are actually still there, we're gonna go a little bit north into the Alabama Hills, where hundreds of movies have been filmed over the year. Some of the most famous movies that have ever come out of the Old West. We're gonna make a quick pit stop along the way at the Film Museum, where there's tons of props from Tremors and a lot of others. And we're actually gonna have a little visit from the Inyo County Film Commissioner to hear a little bit more about the history of films out in this area.
I reckon we should be flexible. He's talking about a film called Tremors. I want to be flexible enough to be able to do this on stream. We never used to really do this. I'm going to play a song. The song I'm going to play you is called Tremors. It's by Tracer. And I feel like we should have the flexibility to do this on stream. So, without any further ado, let's have a listen to the song Tremors. Absolutely zero relation to what Toothboy is talking about. just in the sense that this popped up while we're watching and he's talking about it. This is from their album Water for Thirsty Dogs. It's called Tremors. It's by Tracer. I'm going to shut up. No sound? Oh, because I muted my mic. You idiot. You absolute idiot. I'm apologizing for that. You idiot. Okay, so we haven't done this for a while. I utterly apologize. This should work. Thank you, Charles. It's not a silent song. Thank you. My bad.
They say youth is wasted on the young. I say wisdom comes too late for some. But I'm old enough to know what I want. You better my reflection in your eyes. Naked and untainted crystalline. And one day I'll write a song for you that'll never be ready or right. I get tremors whenever you're around, like lightning through the ground. Tremors whenever you're around, and think I'm falling I miss you every minute that you're gone. Words that are so old and overdone take on you. Never thought before, and I brace myself for the storm. I get tremors whenever you're around, like lightning through the ground. Tremors whenever you're around, they flip me upside down. Tremors whenever you're around, like lightning through the ground. Tremors whenever you're around, they flip me upside down. And I think I'm falling
Nice. Tremors from Water for Thirsty Dogs, the Tracer album, and I realized I did play the vinyl rip. Might not have been autologically as brilliant as it could have been. I should have played the album version, but that's my bad. I just feel like we should just be able to be flexible with shit, and if stuff pops up, we might as well just go with gold when it comes there. And in Toothboy, he's been mentioning Tremors, so I thought we should just play that. And now let us get back to where we were.
I'm Jesse Steele. I'm the Inyo County Film Commissioner, and we are here at the Lone Pine Western Film Museum. It's one of the coolest places in the world, honestly. All the different movies that have been shot here in Inyo County are represented here in some way or another, and it's stuff you wouldn't even imagine. One of the things that's cool about this place is you can't beat our locations. I mean, you all know, you watch the show. It's incredible. You look this way, it's Nevada. You look this way, it's Montana. You look this, so that's why this is so coveted. We've all heard of Foley sound, which is like coconuts, that kind of stuff, you know, like punching glove when somebody gets hit, that kind of stuff, boots walking in sand. So Foley came from a guy named Jack Foley. So Jack Foley, he was born in 1890, somewhere around.
What a styler. Look at Jack Foley. What the hell? Cigar, top hat. What's that, like a whiskey glass, wedding ring? What an absolute styler.
There in, I believe, Ireland. And so he moved to New York, and he was working in New York, and he decided to get out here because they were sick and tired of that. So he moved to Bishop. He was working in a hardware store, and there was a couple of things that were going wrong with the town, and it had to do with, it was a big part of like the LADWP water grab and all that. There was some stuff they needed money brought in. So he happened to have some contacts in the film industry. So he reached out to them and said, hey, you want the perfect spot where you can shoot these amazing movies? Come up here. So a couple movies, all the silent movies, they would come up here and shoot, and there's a lot of different movies like that. Come to the Lone Pine Western Film Museum. You can see all of this stuff here. And then the talkies started to come out. So the very first one was, there was two that went for it. It was called The Jazz Singer and Showboat. So what the process for the film, or for the audio on that was, they would record the sound on set, and they would record the actors on set, and that's how they were doing it. Well, Jack thought of the idea, because he knew these guys were running this. Well, they wanted to beat him because they'd already shot The Jazz Singer with no words, and they wanted to say, no, we're going to beat these guys. This was Universal, so like, we're going to beat these guys. So Jack's idea was, well, why don't we just recreate the sounds by watching it? And so then they did, they beat him to it or whatever, and that's where Foley came from, so Foley sound. So what's cool about that is then he became sort of the golden child.
I never knew that's what Foley stemmed from, a person's name. Interesting story. Yeah, either like ambient or Foley or like live sounds.
They're like, oh, this is the guy, he knows what he's doing, right? So like, well, what's the next big thing in film, Jack? And Jack's like, Bishop, Lone Pine, Independence here. He's like, if you shoot here, you can shoot all day long. There's nobody to stop you. You can shoot all over the place. Alabama Hills is one of the most recognized places in the whole wide world for shooting films. That was because of that one guy. So they came here in like the 20s,
Pretty
and
cool.
from then they shot every Western here. Everything was shot here into the 50s and 60s. All the TV shows, Gunsmoke, you know, Have Gun Will Travel, all those. They were all shot here. Most of them. There's all over the place, of course, but this was the main home base for that kind of stuff until the Westerns stopped being popular. And now it's kind of become more of like, I have a lot of car commercials that shoot here. Every Super Bowl commercial you see has a car racing around in the Alabama Hills or up against, you know, the different areas. It's been really, really cool. So there's so much like that that goes on around here. Short movies like crazy. This is my favorite room in the place, of course. Sci-fi movies happen a lot. You can see the different posters in here. I mean, I'm just looking around going, you couldn't possibly remember all of it.
This guy's so stoked to live and work there. Hey, he loves it. He looks enthusiastic.
It's been a couple of years since a big one. I think the last big one might have been The Lone Ranger with Johnny Depp, and that shot on the dry lake. And that was really, really cool. And so it happens a lot. We get it out here, and hey, we're welcoming more. If you guys want to shoot, give me a call. Yeah. You know, our website is filminyocounty.com. If you want to go check that out, all the information for permitting, history of our stuff here, it's all there. And we're super glad to have you.
Pretty cool. Want to shoot a film? Holy shit, that's rad.
Welcome to the Alabama Hills, possibly the most famous filming location in Western movie history. 400 or 500 different Westerns were shot in this area right around me. And you may be wondering, hey, you are a pretty long ways from Alabama. Why is this called the Alabama Hills? And that is because
I wasn't wondering that. Like, I don't know the area. I did not even consider that. However, I'm open for a story, Tooth Boy. Tell me a story.
1960s, miners in this area were very sympathetic to the Confederate movements in the Civil War, and there was a warship called the CSS Alabama that was very famous for overtaking the Union fleet. And so a lot of the miners started naming their prospects after the Alabama, and hence the Alabama Hills. And in kind of a twist of fate, that ship sank shortly thereafter. But hey, here we are, 150 years later, still calling these the Alabama Hills. And if you can look, you can tell why this is such an interesting filming location. These rocks that are 80 million years old that are rounded contrast the jagged Sierra Nevada in a very interesting way. And so this has been used for westerns, this has been used for military shots, this has been used for different planet shots and everything in between. And so now that we are here, we're gonna keep looking for these famous filming locations, starting once again with Tremors, and a very famous scene where some guys got eaten.
Some guys got eaten?
So this road
That's
that we're
gonna
on is
hurt.
called Movie Road because of all the movies that have been shot along it. But in addition to all the movies, this is a very popular road for car commercials. There have been countless car commercials shot along Movie Road.
Lawn King on Kick. How you doing, man? Tremors with a ginger Tooth Boy. Nice. How you doing, Lawn King? Good to see you. Good to have you. Good to know you. Just kicking back here on a stream on a Wednesday. Hello.
I even shot one with Rivian a while back in collaboration with Car and Driver. And so, as you can see, this is a popular location for many reasons, and it's one that's just off 395, so you have the opportunity. I would definitely take the time, take a little wander through Movie Road.
It's funny how they always shoot like vehicle commercials in these kind of like scenic areas. It's like, are you ever going to drive out there? Probably not. But if you did take a drive, this is what your vehicle could look like in this area. There's a famous bridge not far from, or on the south coast of New South Wales, there's a bridge called the, what do they even call it? Grand Pacific Drive. And it used to just be a coastal, like the road used to just like hug the escarpment, the mountainside. But then they decided to build the bridge. I'll bloody well show it to you instead of talking about it. They built the bridge out across the ocean, or the road goes out across the ocean, Grand Pacific Drive. And I guess it's Scarborough. Or we could just put Stanwell Park. You'll get an image of it. Yeah, see this here? So this image is so, that's probably my friend probably photographed that, but the road used to go, see where my mouse is? Oh, my cursor, sorry. The road used to hug the edge here and just go around, and then they made this extra bit that just juts out, and now it's like a fully, and it's been there for a number of years, but it's a full scenic. It's an Insta location. Hashtag something. Hashtag go up there and get your shot. You see what I'm saying? It's nothing really. Like it's kind of dumb, right? It's just a bit of road, but everyone froths over it. Yeah. That shouldn't be that exciting, but for some reason it is to me right now.
So I've been living out in this area for quite a long time now, and I just love how many things there are to do outdoors. Whether that's hunting down famous filming locations, exploring the abandoned mines, going on multi-day hikes to old ghost towns. I love to do it all. And one thing that I bring
Is this
with
an
me
ad? Dude, are you sliding an ad in here?
everywhere.
He slid an ad in. That was so subtle, man, you little fucker. No ads, Tooth Boy. No ads. Damn, he slid that in easily, didn't he?
They still have their classic.
Yeah. He slid that ad in just as No. I'm not. I was going to talk. I'm not talking about my ex, but I was going to make my gag was the gag I was not going to say that I'm about to say. No, that I was about to say that I'm not going to say that I still will say in a roundabout way is he slid that ad in. No. I won't even do it. No ex talk.
And it is right here where 34 years ago, 2 road workers got eaten by a worm.
Oh, shit.
At least that's what happened in Tremors. And Val and Earl, the stars of the show, got real spooked. You know, this
They're
is when
okay now, though, right? The worm spat them back out, surely.
they first realized the real nefarious nature of these worms. And so this has a lot of Tremors lore happening right at this corner.
Wow, it's still the same rock. Well, no. What did you think would happen? The rock would change? Could have been a landslide.
And right here is the rock Val, Earl, and Rhonda spent the night on. And there's a shot of Kevin Bacon right here kicking off the graboids for the first time. This is when they realized they had to stay on the rocks. They ended up spending the night here. And pretty much the entire rest of the movie was shot in this surrounding area where I'm standing
Oh, what? What's going on with that?
right now. And if you haven't
What menu did I just hit then? V. Okay. You can hit V and it brings up thumbnails of other shit. What a dumb concept for a film. Monsters come out of the ground and it's like sharks on land, which is pretty damn frightening.
checked it out, it is a very fun movie, and this is a very beautiful area.
I have no
So
intention
definitely
of
check
watching
it
that
out,
film.
But if you're a Tremors fan, I'm even got the boots on right now. You can probably imagine Kevin Bacon sitting right out here, kicking his boots out, trying to get this thing away from him. It's just a classic scene, and it's funny to even think, I think this bush is exactly where it was 34 years ago or
That's
whatever.
funny.
And with that, we're gonna
Yeah,
go
but
just down
is the worm still there? Check for the worm, man. Check for the worm.
road to a little bit less fun of a movie, but a huge blockbuster.
Charles
hit.
reminds me of the sandworms in Star Wars. Yeah. In that's when the Jabba the Hutt scene when they're in that little sand funnel and there's and they're fighting. Yeah, true. Now I know Star Wars, like I'm a child of like that era.
When it came out.
This reminds me of the Pinnacles in Western Australia. But drier, if that could be possible.
2012 movie that was shot right here, starred Leonardo DiCaprio,
Heard of him.
Samuel L. Jackson, Jamie Foxx.
Pulp Fiction?
And it was directed by the
No.
infamous Quentin Tarantino.
Oh, this is,
Do you have
Django
any guess
Unchained.
of what that might be? You can see even in the trailer for this movie, this defining rock right behind me. And
Yeah,
that movie,
this
of course,
is a great film. If you've not watched Django Unchained, you should watch it. It's good. Most of Tarantino's work is good, complex, confusing, interesting, twisting, and Django Unchained is definitely one of those.
versus Django Unchained. And in this scene, Jamie Foxx and some others are being led right down here in shackles, right at the very beginning of the movie, all through the Alabama hills. And there's this interview with Tarantino, and he
Pretty
says, you know, he had come out here and just being around these rocks made him remember all of these Western movies from the 1950s, and he really got inspired to want to make a spaghetti Western. And that started here, but ended somewhere very different. And so for our final stop, now that we have seen Django Unchained, we're gonna do a spot that is very infamous for those early 1950s, 1960s movie, and one of the most famous characters from that era. Somebody who I dressed up as many times as a kid during Halloween, and that is going to be our next stop.
Wow, who could this be?
The Lone Ranger, an enduring icon of the American West with his
So it's at this point that I'd stop and say the Lone Ranger, in terms of Australian, like what do we know about the Lone Ranger? I'll be honest, not much. In fact, I'll be even more honest and say nothing. I know the name. I know that it's Western. I know that it's American. But other than that, I don't know what the Lone Ranger. I don't know. I don't understand any of the history of the Lone Ranger. We're about to learn though.
Ranger, an enduring icon of the American West with his strict moral code.
It's Clint Eastwood, right?
Tonto was first portrayed on screen by Lee Powell
No.
in 1938 in a scene that originates right here.
No shit. 1938? Dougski, hey Gibbs, you seem in a better headspace. Yes, Doug, just because you've just popped in, I'll be super brief. We have instigated some rules, if you like, on the channel. I have, and I'd urge you to go back and watch the start of the stream to find out exactly. I'm not going to go into it in detail right here, but go back and watch the start of the stream, and it's going to explain everything to you. But I have made some substantial changes and some substantial mind changes, like headspace changes, after having some counseling and whatnot today. And so if you are here with me and you want to continue on this journey with me on this channel for whatever it means and wherever we go, there are just some ground rules that I've implemented for my own safety and for the not the safety, but for the own. It's not. Just go back and watch it. I'm having a few drinks here as like a toast to the future, not celebrating the past, but just moving on. And yeah, go back and watch the start. That's going to explain it to you. But thank you for swinging by. Thank you, man.
Is where Powell and his 5 other Texas Rangers were ambushed.
And by the way, just as I say this, I also want to extend this. This goes out to anyone. Okay, I'm directly talking to Hendrik, Dale, and Shyla here, but this goes out to those and anyone else that feels slighted from the channel or that they don't want to be a part of this. You are all welcome back here. There has been substantial upheaval. There has been substantial, there's been some name calling and there's been some insulting and a lot of shit's gone down. I'm going to continue on, and anybody that wants to join me and continue on wherever this road goes, you are all welcome. Based upon you following those rules that I stipulated earlier in this stream. I'll look now and come back after I read the changes. Yeah. I haven't written anything, Doug. I've just expressed it, and I could do it here, but it's much more succinct to go back and look before I had the jack, because I've had a couple of them now. Yeah, I've covered it succinctly, and now it's just a case of doing that. Yeah. Cool. All right. I'm getting it out there and I'm expressing it, but yeah, I'm done. I'm good.
Ambush cornered the Alabama hills, and after the ambush, only 1 Ranger remained, hence becoming.
Wait. Now I just missed all about the Lone Ranger. How the fuck did this thing start again? Dude, he just told us that. So how does the Lone Ranger become the only one? And how many other Rangers are there?
Lee Powell in 1938 in a scene that originates right here. This is where Powell and his 5 other Texas Rangers were ambushed. This is called Ambush Corner in the Alabama hills. And after the ambush, only 1 Ranger remained, hence becoming the Lone Ranger.
Wait. That's it? There were 5 of them and they got shot and 4 of them died and 1 didn't? And that's why we have the Lone Ranger? That's why everyone knows about this? There's got what were they ambushing? What was the idea of it? Like, what? You can't just say 5 of them got shot and 1 survived and therefore a legacy. He kind of did say that though, didn't he? Okay, Toothboy, you're not really explaining shit here. By the way, look on his what's on his lip there. You better get that checked out. I don't think we got the Lone Ranger here much. No, but we all knew about it. That's my point. We all heard, like, I know that saying, the Lone Ranger, like, you know, we know about pop culture, but what actually were they doing out there? Why did 4 of them get shot and 1 survived? What's that Beastie Boys song of License to Ill? Bit of a pop feel going on there. Paul Revere. That's a song about the Lone Ranger, right? It's part of pop culture, but we don't know why. Look at Toothboy's face there. I've missed this guy actually in a weird way. What a fierce looking man. He's a funny, I don't know.
This kind of really.
By the way, for
kicked
those
off.
because maybe there's people that are watching this from the whatever, but people that are like, what are you watching? So this dude bought a ghost town. He bought an entire mountainside, a disused silver mine, and he bought it. And his idea is to like use YouTube to market it, to make it into a tourist destination, so people will go up there and like Airbnb and stay there. And he's encountered multiple struggles on the way. We used to watch this quite regularly, like in the past 3 or 4 years. The main struggle he has is that there's no running water up there. So he has to like tap down into this deep underground well and pump water up like 600 feet vertical, and then add it to a reservoir, and then that's how he's going to tap the town sewerage and septic and whatever. But then there's also this big other side story, which we all speculated on. There was this big hotel called the American Hotel. And he wanted to rent rooms out in this hotel, and all of a sudden the thing burnt down, like burnt to the ground. And we always speculated that he burnt it himself, because there was a video that he did a walkthrough of it, and he was saying, well, we can't bring tourists in here as it stands because it won't meet code. Like they have this thing in the States, and most countries have. We have a version of it here, but it's called standards in Australia, but over there it's called code. The building wouldn't meet code. Like you needed to have certain angled ramps and, you know, disabled access and railings and, you know, water filters, water fire extinguishers and all this stuff. And he's like, it's going to cost way too much money to get this building up to code. And then all of a sudden, the whole thing burnt to the crisp, like completely burnt down. And up until that point, this gentleman had documented and filmed and shown us everything. And then one time he just comes on with a video and goes, he's like crying and tear up. And he's like, the American hotel burnt to the ground. And it's like, yeah, I'm devastated. And then the next video was like, however, we did take the blueprints of the building out and we had them stored so we can rebuild. And with your help, we want to rebuild the American hotel. And so then there was a lengthy, maybe a 1.5 year process where he was using those blueprints that somehow miraculously didn't get burnt down, and he's rebuilding it to spec, including meeting code. So we always said that it's extremely sketchy what went on. I'm only speculating and I'm only having an opinion. None of what I say is factual. It's just based upon what we saw on the channel. But it just seemed a little bit coincidental that this whole thing, and then he crowdfunded basically to have the thing rebuilt. There was also some very heavy issues or very concerning issues about how they would lay the foundations to have this thing. You know, they got to go down into bedrock and they got to put concrete and pillars and stuff. And to get all that machinery up onto the hill, he had to get, you know, donated by other YouTube channels, Heavy D Sparks being one of them, a bigger YouTuber who came in and brought all the machinery up. And all this stuff was like crowdfunded. And we were like, most of my community, and this goes back a couple of years here on Gives a Minute, but most of my community was like, dude, this guy burnt that place down 100%. But yet no one's ever really like. I think if I could claim it, I reckon I'm the only person on YouTube that's sort of like saying that the story this guy tells isn't quite exactly what it is. Now, don't get me wrong. The idea of buying a ghost town and rejuvenating it to make like an Airbnb or like a historical document, this is all wonderful. Like all that stuff checks out. But the one thing that doesn't check out is the burning down of the American hotel. And my speculation is that there are elements to that story that he's not telling us, because why would like, and I know this, and you guys know from seeing what's gone down in the last week or so on this channel, I document everything, and this guy does too. And that's probably why I got attracted to watching him in the first place, because he so thoroughly documents his existence. And, you know, living in a ghost town is unique and intriguing, more so than just me doing some shitty job and surfing and whatever. But he had something really interesting to consume. That's why his channel's got 1.8 million subs and mine's got 23,000 dropping daily. So we watched it, we enjoyed it, but then as soon as that thing burnt down, I was like, something doesn't smell right here. Yeah. So that's where we're at. You may disagree. You may think it's all on the up and up, and just know that you're wrong.
A golden era of the Alabama Hills. You know, all the big guys came through here, whether it was John Wayne, Gene Autry, Hopalong Cassidy, you know, all of them came out here and really set the tone that continues today. But right here, back in 1938, there was guys on both of these rocks overlooking, kind of ambushing the Lone Ranger right here. And growing up, I used to just love the Lone Ranger. I would dress up like him for Halloween. I would just have a blast. And so it's cool to think, you know, I live in sight.
You are the Lone Ranger.
Where that all started, at least on film. You know, it was a radio show before that. But I think that this is a very cool place, and a place that, I don't know. I think anytime you spend...
You know what else shits me about Toothboy? By the way, his name's not Toothboy, but he's got lovely teeth. That's how he got his nickname. All these years later, he still doesn't fucking wear a lapel mic. How about when he turned around and you could hear the gravel under his foot on the live mic?
At least on film. You know, it was a radio show before that. But I think that this is a very cool place, and a place that...
Dude, just...
I don't know. I think anytime you...
Just put a lapel mic on, man. Everyone learns that shit straight away. You've done it for 4 years. Put a mic on.
Spend the time to get to know the area better. You appreciate the area better, and it just kind of makes your life more fulfilled. And stumbling upon the fact that this character that I grew up just loving happened to kind of show up for the first time on the TV screen right here is really, really cool. It's cool to think that...
But all the criticism aside, how fucking amazing is the scenery? And he shoots like with like just a GoPro and sometimes his cell phone. Like it's beautiful. The scenery here, far out. Like, yeah, the rock formations, the wide landscape, Death Valley. It's just insane.
Up on 100 years, at least, you know, 80 something years ago, the actors were climbing up on these and ambushing the horse as it rode through here. I can see why they did it too. It's a very dramatic setting. It's very stunning, even for the Alabama Hills, kind of the chute straight through here. And I wonder if the local populations, the Paiute, the Shoshone, ever used this chute for hunting. You know, similar to how the Lone Ranger was hunted by the bad guys. This could be a chute to run some animals through and attack from above.
Shoot.
So it's really beautiful out here, and I can't say it enough. If you've never had the opportunity to explore the Alabama Hills or to be out this part of California, definitely spend some time and go up 395. Check it out. You can see all of this history that's here. Cerro Gordo is just behind the rocks right over there. And it's very, very cool. And we're not quite done yet, because there's a scene that was shot in kind of the dusk that we're gonna go try to find. And this is a scene from one of my all-time favorite movies, another blockbuster in the theaters that did over $400 million when it came out. And there's actually a new version of the movie just about to be released. And so with that, let's go hunting to see if we can find a historic movie.
Turns out we did get The Lone Ranger in Australia on the ABC in 1949. Jesus, that's way before my time. I mean, they would have shown like reruns later on, I guess. I feel like I remember seeing it in the TV guide like at 9:40 p.m. something at night. The Lone Ranger. I never watched it in 1949 though. I mean, I'm an old bastard, but not that old.
Its own way. Back in 180 AD, the Roman general Maximus's family was brutally murdered because he wouldn't give his allegiance to Commodus.
That's old,
the
mate.
insane son of the Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius. And so after
I
his
am
family
Spartacus.
is murdered, he makes the long trek home through the woods, through the desert, through the rocks, through right here in the Alabama hills. And I think it is just amazing that Ridley Scott, the director, chose to come all the way out here
Ridley Scott,
to shoot what was maybe
famous for Aliens.
5 seconds in a 2.5 hour long video. You know, they were shooting in all of these crazy locations like Malta, Morocco, and all these different places. But he thought, no, for that one shot, I had this vision of being right here. And it might have been because Ridley Scott shot G.I. Jane, and he shot some of that out here in the Alabama hills too, which is really cool. But being here is just exciting. You know, I love that type of movie. I love these epic dramas that are based upon history.
Did he say the film title? I didn't hear it. Or maybe he said it and I just, didn't hear it.
History. And the fact that Russell Crowe rode his horse right here, it's cool. It's exciting. It just makes the whole thing seem more approachable, more manageable in a way, if that makes sense. I think that's the big lesson that I took away from this whole day of journeying around, you know? Been living
Wait.
up at so
Did he say the film title? I don't think he did. Did I miss it? Russell Crowe. Spartacus, right?
Gordo for years now, and I never took the time to visit these famous locations where they shot movies, even though I've been making videos for years. And I think being out here and being right where they shot a thing, I can understand where they put that 5 seconds of the movie together. You know, I know it was very difficult with a huge crew, but if you put enough of those 5 seconds together, then suddenly you have a movie. And I think that visiting the locations for me today made movies that typically you see all packaged up on the big screen that much more approachable. You know, there are people just out here with a camera setting up scene after scene after scene and weaving it together, and they have a movie. And I think by visiting all these locations today, I feel a better connection with this local area that is all.
He always has a way to manage to like tie this back to like the connection to the land and how he's important to be there. It's kind of funny, like, dude, they use these areas because it looks rad. There's no connection to you just because you bought the place later on in life. Doesn't have, you know, I mean, maybe I'm too cold-hearted, but you can't, just because you're watching a film and you see a location that you know, I don't know, it seems like a stretch.
I feel a better connection with this local area that is all around me. I am never going to drive by this place again without thinking about Russell Crowe on his horse right here. And I feel a little bit ridiculous.
What was the film though? You never said the title of the film. Yeah, just because the film was shot there, what if you didn't see the film? Like if you didn't watch that film, would you still have that connection? The thing still happened. Are you telling me you have to watch the film for it to connect? I thought the land would be cosmically connected regardless of whether you saw the film or not.
That it took me so long to get out here and check these locations out. And so I would say to all of you, I hope that you get out there and explore your local community.
And I would say to you, Tooth Boy, I hope that you can get a lapel mic and so that we don't have to hear the ground crunching under your feet whenever you move. But that's just me.
You know, go on Google, see what movies were filmed in your area, and go out and visit those places. You know, it's going to make those places mean more to you, And if you do enough of that, your whole life will mean more. It'll kind of be like
Whoa.
the world gets colored in all around you.
Wait.
So,
If I research what films are being shot in my area, my life will mean more. That's a big claim. That's a big claim. I need big claims right now in my life.
that's what I got for this video. I very much appreciate you guys taking this journey with me today. If you're ever in the area, I very much encourage you to visit the Alabama Hills, to visit Cerro Gordo, and all the beautiful filming locations all around here. And until next time, I'm gonna sign out. I hope you guys have an amazing week. I hope you guys get out there, check out some famous locations around you, and I'll see you next time.
Thank you, Tooth Boy. As much as I diss it, and as much as I critique it,
For your consideration, the cheering.
it's pretty rad. It's pretty rad. Like, I'm not poo-pooing it at all. Don't ever get me wrong. I'm not poo-pooing it. I think what he's doing is pretty amazing. But there are little holes in his story, you know. Just because a film was shot somewhere doesn't make you any closer to the land. Like, that's a bit wanky, right? Maybe I'm a little cold-hearted these days. Maybe I'm a little. I live 20 minutes from neighbors Ramsey Street. And does that make you more connected to the street? Does that make you more connected to Ramsey Street? Hey, what I want to do here, which is pretty unusual because normally we just do music on the weekends and whatever, but now that life is different, do you want to just listen to some tunes? Like, I kind of want to go and get another Jack, but I got to get some more ice. But what about if we take pause for like 3 or 4 minutes and we come back in and we play some music at random? However, maybe we could start the music with something that's a request. You're the last person to chat in my chat, followed by Doug and then Charles. So there's 3 people. Doug and Charlie. What do you want to hear? And I'll cue them up in the queue, and then we'll just have those 3 songs and then random. We'll just hang out for a while. I mean, I'm not working anymore, and so I've got more time to stream, and we're going to hang out. So we might as well just fill it with cool shit, and music is usually pretty cool. Any Pussifer? I do have Pussifer. I do. I could never say that word correctly. Pussifer. It's Maynard's other band. Let me find what I've got. I'll tell you what I've got there. Pussifer. Oops. So I have. I've got. Shit. Hold on a second. Albums. Why can't I just type it? Oh, Sonny, it's just gone. I have V is for vagina. I have the remixes of the same album. I have C is for please insert sophomoric genitalia reference here. I have Conditions of My Parole. I have Donkey Punch the Night, the EP. I have Existential Reckoning. You got Remedy. You want Remedy. Remedy is not available. I don't have Remedy. Oh, you mean the track Remedy or the album Remedy? I guess I could just search for the track. Remedy. Remedy song. I'm doing this off camera here. And it's not. Remedy. I've got Luna, Santa Cruz, Ben Harper, Fellowship featuring Waynard Mine, Mere Theory. I do not have the song Remedy by Pussifer. I do not have that song. Would you care to choose an alternative track by Pussifer? Pussifer. It's such a weird word to say. Is that off something? What have I? I mean, I just read out what I have, but I don't. Yeah, that one escapes me. I guess Doug's not here. We could cue in one of Doug's shunting 5s. I was going to say we could maybe play. No. I kind of want to listen to some Sleep Token just because of my ex. See, it's kind of funny when you have a breakup, music from that person, it's a weird one because like before I met this person, I hadn't heard Sleep Token. And as I listened to that band because of this person, it kind of gets in your thing and you go like, oh, I like that. Like, that's cool. But then when you like, you got to break, there's got to be a break as well. There's got to be a break in like your mental, like the connectivity to the band, to the person. Because if I hear that band now, you might say it's too early to listen to that dude. Like it's only been a week. In my case, I feel like it's only been one day because the last week has been a write-off for me. Today I realized that we're done. And so when I listened to even Bring Me the Horizon, I knew that band beforehand and I've photographed them beforehand. Sleep Token might be a bit different. Maybe I should hold off a bit on that, but I probably should hold off on that. Don't do it. Yeah. Yeah, it's a weird one because I genuinely liked what I heard, but I know that listening would bring it all back. Yeah, you're right, yeah. Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? Music has that power to, it's kind of a strange undercurrent, like, yeah, that's I haven't really thought about that at this. There was another band back, oh no, doesn't matter. Music can get attached to things. That's what it is, yeah. Which is weird because I have an ex-girlfriend who was a musician, and when I hear her music these days, I don't have any. Yeah, like when I listen to her music, I can, it's weird, I can just listen to the music and I don't have that sentimental connection. So I guess with time, you break that connection. It's weird, isn't it? It's a strange one, yeah. I had to help family pick funeral music every day. Was that? Oh, that was your job for a while, was? I remember you telling me about that. Yeah. Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? Because like funeral music, the way you remember someone through music, like obviously the music has already existed before the person like took it, like claimed it for the funeral. So if you like, let's say you're being a dickhead and you said, I want to play Live Forever by Oasis at my funeral. Probably the wrong choice. However, that song has well and truly already existed before you died. And so when you claim it, like how does that? It's emotion, right? People get emotions to the sentiment of someone passing. Yeah, it's weird. I heard someone want Chumbawamba tub thumping. I get knocked down, but I get up again. Not now, you're not. You're not getting up out of that fucking coffin, dude. It's sealed and you're under 6 feet of dirt. It's fucking tub thumping. Well, man, okay, so we haven't got that Pussifer song, but I could play my favorite Ween song and start this off. Ironically, it is my funeral song, and I'm not just saying this because of whatever's gone down recently, but I've been saying this for decades. There's one song by Ween that I want played at my funeral. Is it wrong to play that and then go into some random music? Just I'll go and get ice and we'll have one more Jack and we'll just have random after Ween. The track will be Roses Are Free. I didn't realize at the start of the track there's a bit that needed to be cut off. It starts with the words injected by poison. Wait. What are you talking about? You're talking about the Pussifer song or that tub thumping? I've got tub thumping. Tub thumping. Yeah, tub, okay. I have that. I believe I have that. Is it called tub thumping? It's by... What's the band? Tumbawamba or Tumbawamba? Tub. I had to snip. Oh, so when you right. So the start of the song starts with injected, but it's called Chumbawamba. Chumbawamba. I don't have it. I thought I had that in my collection. Chumbawamba. Wasn't it on a Hottest 100 or something? I get knocked down, but I get up again. Pissing the night. But what is the actual song called? It's called Tub Thumping. Yeah, I remember that. Tub Thumping. I don't have it. I don't have it. So what I'm going to do instead, I'm going to queue up Roses Are Free by Ween. I'm going to add it to the playlist. I'm going to add it to the next, and then we're going to play random. Oh, that's the vinyl rip again. Why have I always got the vinyl rip? Let me clear that shit. Sorry, you can't even see this, but I'm just adding it to the playlist. Hey, we'll clear the playlist, and then we'll come back in after Roses Are Free by Ween from the album Chocolate and Cheese. Play next, and then we'll go into random, and we'll just hang out for a little while. So I'm going to just take 5 minutes to go and grab some ice and get one more Jack. And this is kind of like just me shooting the shit, hanging out. Yeah, that's how I'm doing this. So I'll be back. I'll see you shortly. Alrighty then. Got myself another glass of icicles. Gonna add some Jack to the mix, and we're gonna then just cruise out into some music for a little while. I'm not gonna get too drunk here. I'm gonna have 3 beverages, and that's gonna be it. We do have music coming our way. I have added myself to, I've added not a playlist, but I've added Roses Are Free by Ween, which is my funeral song. I don't know how to, because we haven't done this in such a long time, I'm not sure how this is going to actually work. Just let me pour this beverage, get that shit going. If we go, I guess we've got to go into, how did we do this? Let me just kill the music. We go over here. Where was it? I can't remember where we went to play music. I think it was in call-ins. We go here. Okay, so there's music. But do we not have... I got no camera. That is not where we did it. Okay, so there's no camera on that scene. Where did we add music into the scene? Was it in here? Been a while since we've done this. My apologies. Here maybe? Here. That looks better. Got my camera. Got the musics. Yeah. Okay, I think that's it. Where's the now playing though? Anyway, I'll just start the song, and I guess this is just kind of fun times. Roses Are Free by Ween. It's the song that I do want played at my funeral. I'm not dying anytime soon. I felt like I was the last 7 days or so, but that's not going to happen. I'm sticking around. You got to put up with this fuckwit for longer until nature takes me out. Roses Are Free by Ween from Chocolate and Cheese, and then we'll go into some random music.
Take a piece of tinsel and put it on the tree. Cut a slab of melon and pretend that you still love me. Carve out a pumpkin and rely on
Roses Are Free, folks, by Ween. From Chocolate and Cheese. Yes, that is the song that I would require at my funeral. Now, what we're going to do here is we're going to just move on to random music, and I'm not too sure what it is. Try to guess the artist as we go. Interesting. The Prodigy, Out of Space. Yeah, nice one was. Techno Underworld remix. The Prodigy.
I'll take your brain to another dimension. Hold it. Pay close attention.
Okay. Some dance music. Good to see the Prodigy are still playing. Yeah. They've been around forever, haven't they? This is from the Music for the Jilted Generation album.
I'll take your brain to another dimension. I'll
Cool.
take your brain to another dimension. I'll take your brain to another dimension. Hold it. Pay close attention.
By the way, just saying, in the way that we now do music, if you want to request something, you can just ask me and I'll search it up and see if I can slice it in. Just want to make that clear. It's not always about random anymore. We can add music in. Dugsy, I had to listen to the rules. No problems, Gibbs. Don't think I've ever crossed that line. Thank you, Doug. Yes, you never have, man. You never have. Yeah, cool. Yeah.
Pay close attention. Pay close attention. Pay close attention.
Call in requests. Interesting. Yeah, Doug. Yeah, call if you want to request it, and I'll search it up, see if I got it, and I'll add it on in.
Pay close attention. I'll take your brain to another dimension.
Mind you, this isn't a music stream. We just threw a few random songs at the end here.
I'll take your brain to another dimension. 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 Hold it. Pay close attention. I'll take your brain to another dimension. I'll take your brain to another dimension. I'll take your brain to another dimension. Pay close attention. I'll take your brain to another dimension.
Shunting 5 one more time, or do you want to change from that? Ooh, I don't know, Doug. It's been so long, right, since the Shunting 5s. Yeah, good question. I feel like the community is so divided now. So yeah, I'm not sure how well that would go down. Like, used to be good with the H-Man and Dale, and yeah, I'm not sure how that'll fly. By the way, the Prodigy with the remix, it's almost the same as the album version. Have a think about it. Yeah. I hadn't thought about it for a while. I'll consider it. Yeah, for sure. Outer Space from The Prodigy, from Experience Expanded. So not the jilted music for the jilted generation. Okay. Oh, well, get your pencils ready. Shush kebabs.
Stop bringing it round here. I'm turning the tables as I should, and I don't know what I want now. I thought I gave my heart away for good in a blur, in a tiny house in Stockholm. I don't know if you know, but I'm just flesh and bone, and I feel what I feel. The remorse in my heels. I don't wanna be your anchor. We're both dead with cancer, right?
Prodigy were in Australia recently. I saw this. This is a band called Slowly Slowly from their album St. Leonard's. The track is Sunburnt Shoulders. I shot them a couple of times. Once in Barrie, which was kind of interesting, at the Lazy Mountain Festival. I'll put those photos in the Kick chat. Most of you yahoos are in Kick. Yeah, Barrie in April of 2023. Interesting band. I guess I have their music in my collection because of that festival. I thought they were pretty cool.
Up to some
Slowly, slowly.
who is loving, who sends you blushing. So who am I?
Barrie's a beautiful town.
The cupboard.
Had some really nice times there with
Your concern. I got so
my ex.
learn.
Yes. Did you see Full Flower Man supporting Foo Fighters? Yes. Foo Fighters playing Launceston. Funnily enough. Yeah, Full Flower Moon Band. That band. Dude, should we crank up one of their tracks? Should we crank up a Full Flower Moon Band track? Let me see if I got Full Flower Moon Band. Dude. I think I've got some of their stuff in here. Got a split, Aiden lacrosse training. No worries, Doug. Thanks for swinging by, man.
From a halo, I just like to catch a break, you know. I'm not hanging from a halo.
Dude, I got
Just like to catch a break, you know.
I might need longer to. I'm gonna. I'll just add this. Okay, I added a track. I don't know what the track is, but I added it. We're gonna hear. Let me get that off the screen. The next track will be Full Flower Moon Band, a band that blew me away when I saw them. And they've gone on to do big things. We'll take 3 more songs here and then we'll wrap this up. So 1 Full Flower Moon Band and then 2 other randoms. So do I have to cover this up? Get your pencils ready, folks. Shush kebabs. Full Flower Moon Band. I don't need to. I just thought it'd be interesting to cover it up just for shits and giggles. It's from their album Chinatown. Full Moon Dog Show.
Get your back to the wall and stay at home. You're in for a full moon dog show. Get your back to the wall and away from the window. You know that this is what is happening. You better keep your eye on having fun, and then just do it, or you will not be having fun. And then you
Some photos.
just miss it. Get your back to the wall and stay at home. You're in for some peak adrenaline. Get your back to the wall and away from the window.
Pretty cool.
You know that this is what is happening. You better keep your eye on having fun, and then just do it, or you will not be having fun, and then you just miss it.
How's that bass? The tone of that bass. Could easily be a film soundtrack for sure, yeah. It's definitely something that, like, when I saw them, because I didn't know anything about this band, and they were on the lineup at the Yours and Ours festival, and I went to shoot them, and I was like, what the hell did I just see? Blew me away. Obviously something unique is happening here with this band. Get on board. Get your pencils ready. Shush kebabs. 2 more songs.
Yeah, oh yeah, what condition my condition was in. I woke up this morning with the sun down, shining in. I found my mind in a brown paper bag, but then I tripped on a cloud and fell 8 miles high. I tore my mind on a jagged sky. I just dropped in to see what condition my condition was in. Yeah, yeah, oh yeah, what condition my condition was in.
From the Big Lebowski, Kenny. Oh shit, was Kenny Rogers in the first edition. Just dropped in to see what condition my condition was in. Good film. The Big Lebowski. You haven't seen it? You should watch it. It's a funny film.
I got up so tight I couldn't unwind. I saw so
Not sure who the backup singers are.
broke my
No.
mind. I just dropped in to see what condition my condition was in.
I like this about randomness, eh? I just dropped in to see what my condition was in. My condition is in good form. I feel good. I feel good. I feel resolute.
Yeah,
Yeah, I feel resolute that this has happened. It's like 7 days after, and finally it sinks in that she dumped me. She dumped me.
My foot on the gas as I left the road and blew out my mind.
It happened.
8 miles out of Memphis and I got no spare. 8 miles straight up downtown somewhere. I just dropped in to see what condition my condition was in. I said I just dropped in to see what condition my condition was in.
Oh, yes. Kenny Rogers and the first edition from the Big Lebowski soundtrack. I just dropped in to see what condition my condition was in. Get your freaking pencils ready, folks. One more song and then we out here. And shush kebabs. Oh, fuck me. It's a sad song. Awesome.
She's a victim of her senses. Do you know her? Can you see her in the distance as she tumbles by? Veteran of a race that should be over. Can you hear her sigh? With wings to fly, she walks along.
Neil Young. I've loved her so long. I swear to God, this is random. Like, I did not program this shit. Nice one, Neil Skis. Make it harder. Fuck music. I thought you were on my side, music. Shit happens. Neil Young, folks, trying to slide on in there and make things worse than they already were. I've loved her so long. I'm happy for you, Neil Skis. No need to bring us all down though, dude. For realses. Neil Young, get him out of there. Folks, that's how we're going to wind up the stream here. Just as we wind up and as we exit here, yeah, like whatever goes on from here in or from here onwards on this channel, I'm not really sure. I mean, this is it. This is the reality of what's. This is what's happened. So I'm just, yeah. Take care. Be good to yourself. Thanks, Woz. I'm gonna take some time to myself. And I guess what I want to do, or what I've hoped to achieve here today, is to keep myself accountable. And I know that I've now crossed into this next phase of this situation, and the acceptance of being dumped has obviously sunk in, and I'm moving past all that. So thanks for being here with me on the journey. And from whence it goes, we don't know. But we'll see. We'll see. Cheerses. Cheerses, earses, bees, knees, teas, weasleys, bees. Is what it is.
Started
Yes.
out alive, man, that was the play.
Can't change.
Screaming every night, building up the sway. But as the sight faded, I had to
I didn't
find my
break
way.
this. Her
Now
capacity
I'm up in the
collapsed.
form,
My
so I do
actions
the
were
fray.
not the cause.
Got my crew behind me, yeah, we call them givers. Chillin' IRL, catching all the rivers. Farkle in the chat, bringing loss to the grind. Talking crypto games while we sippin' Jack Fine. Gives a minute, yeah, we take our time. Living in the moment, life's a subtle rhyme. From the land down under, streaming through the night. Got my heart. New Zealand's vibe, surfing waves day to night. Always looking for the next thrill. That's